All right, we are here with the legendary K Solo, aka Wolfgang, in the house. What's going on, my friend?
What's up, bro? Long Island in the building. Stand up, Sam.
Damn right, man. Yeah, because I'm a Brentwood dude, and you're a CI dude, so we're like next door neighbors, man. Like, you know, and there's nothing better, man. You know, and I think that also what you guys brought to it back in the day really gave a certain pride to CI, a certain pride to Brentwood that we didn't have before Hit Squad came around, man.
Oh yeah, no doubt. We was doing our thing. Shout out to the whole team, man. You know, shit got crazy out there, but we back.
Yeah, man. It's good to see you guys back, dude. When you guys brought it back, at the Redman versus Method thing, seeing you guys come back through the Headbanger, man, that was
yeah. That was cool. Shout out to Redman. Me and Redman stay locked in. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that much of EPMD no more. Me and Redman was in the studio. I went to the studio with Eric Sherman after Bismarck's funeral, but he didn't show up the next day. I had to fly back, and he did the same thing with Redman. So we haven't really caught up with Eric.
Well, you guys working on a new track? You working on something new?
Yeah, everybody's working on their own stuff, their solo stuff. I got Road Warrior Records out right now. My boy Dox Diggler's coming out. Y'all listen out for Dox Diggler. I got a whole bunch of stuff coming this year on my distribution company is out of Symphonics Distribution in Tampa, Florida.
Right on, man. Very cool. Very cool. So
I want to shout out to Mr. Obrea for looking out for us, Jorge Obrea, the president over there that gave us a situation.
Right on.
I want to shout out Sam Sneed and
Sam
DJ
Sneed.
Scratch. Yeah, DJ Scratch. They've been working on some music. Scratch is working on my single, Your Mom's in My Business Part 2.
Oh shit! Because now are you doing a different take on Moms in My Business? Like now that
she's still in my business, man. She's still in it, man. Scratch gave me the track, and I pinned it real quick, so that's coming out. What else? My son Vaughn is coming out. My godson Chris is coming out.
Nice, man.
Chris Lachey, they're coming out, and then they're gonna do the group thing. Just a lot of great things happening, man. We're doing an NFT album this time, so you listen out. It's gonna be NFT'd.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah.
The technology is advanced. We're keeping up with it.
NFTs turn your digital assets into one of a kind by creating a unique digital signature, which defines the ownership of your assets, and that can be bought and sold for real money, cryptocurrency, or any other asset, like a non-fungible token, aka NFT.
Man, we just been working, keeping our ear to the ground. Jason Lascelles been marketing. So we have an office up in Canada. We're making sure that we're on point with the technology and making sure we're on point where everything's moving. We're working on a movie, The Rise and Fall of the Hit Squad.
Oh, no way, yeah?
Yeah, well, because you know what? I feel sorry for all of the things that happened. I just think it was outside forces that caused us to make these kind of mistakes. I don't think that no one member did it on its own. I think we were all collectively so big and so young, we didn't realize it. I want to display that in the film. Yeah. I want to give people a chance to actually appreciate, you know, the genius as young kids as it came together and we landed on our feet correctly. And then when the older generation got in our ears and that's when it started getting messed up. So we're going to show that. We're not going to crush anybody. We're going to always hold the respect and values that we all had as people because we all come from those kind of parents. My dad was a truck driver, made a lot of money, and then my father owned a band too, so he would give my mother the check for his truck driving job and then put his bass on his shoulders and go make his money with his friends. I want to put all of that in the movie so you knew what was behind us.
Dude, because
Redman's dad was in the military, like did 4 tours, you know, just so people could see the different things in our camp that, that deserves to be talked about and deserve to be seen.
Right on, man. Because when it comes to the Hit Squad, bro, that was historic. First of all, it was a golden age of hip hop. Then, all you guys came at it. Everybody had their own unique style. It was a very unique crew. It was a local, Long Island really put Long Island on the map. I know we had PE and a lot of big names come out of Long Island. Yeah. Bismarck, yeah, man. God bless him. And all that stuff. But I think that could do a movie about the Hit Squad could be just as big, if not bigger, than the NWA movie, because I think too there's such a uniqueness to what you guys all brought and how it happened, and you were one of the first real cliques. I mean, yeah, there was the Juice Crew and stuff, and there was little groups here and there, but you guys were like this unit that I think set the stage for like Wu-Tang and NWA and stuff like that. You guys kind of set the template for that, where you all went off, did your own solo projects, came back and did all that. So I think a movie, dude, how far along are you with that? I think that'd be like, who do you want to play you?
I'm gonna have my son Vaughn play me because he really knows the story. He lived through it. Chris Lachey's gonna play Reggie Noble, and they have an acting coach. My aunt Vernie Watson, been acting in our family since we were like born. You know, she did Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She was the second lady that played his mother, and she was also the lady that played Freddie Boom Boom Washington's girlfriend in Welcome Back, Carter.
Oh,
that's my aunt.
Well, I know Will wants to go.
Oh, yeah, take the sub right to Bro and Patterson.
You know it.
Hey, I tell you what, I race you to the station, loser got to pay the fare.
You on?
All right.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, her father raised me. Her father raised me. Shout out to Uncle Walter Lee. He would let me and Redman actually just take over the whole house, me, him, and Sam Snead, and we were able to play music loud. He was a music teacher, so he understood. A lot of people that's what I'm saying. This movie is about more or less, not just the story, the people that were behind us making this a reality.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because I go back.
Like Uncle Walter.
Yeah, because I go back. I went Brentwood guy. I went to school with Eric. I was in Boy Scouts with Parrish, and I knew his dad. Mr. Smith was one of our scoutmasters and great man, and I love that guy. We're born on the same day, August 7th, me and him. But
wow.
Yeah, but what's cool is that, like, you talk about it's these people, these positive role models that really kind of put the fuel and the wind in the wings, man, and the fuel in the tank to give you that confidence that you can achieve your goals, man, and you can make it. Yeah.
Your mom's in my business. She's in my business. Can't you see, girl? Your mom is trying to end this. Your mom's in our business. I tell your mom to mind our business.
Yeah. Yep. And that's a real important thing that is being displayed. I came from the Salvation Army. Dorothy Saunders raised me. Don Rickles had Method Man. Me and Method Man talked about this before. We had the Salvation Army in our life, like Method Man was able to go play basketball there. I was a junior soldier and played drums there. And then I got introduced to Tony Fortunato in the boxing camp through that plug. So it's like, we had great people. Shout out to Miss Cant. We had Sandy Cant, Bobby Cant. We had people in our life that cared about us and really gave us the time. There was times when I would box. I was boxing as a young amateur fighter, and I remember my teacher, Sandy Kemp, would have a father there just to watch me. And I was like, as I got older, I said, man, these people were busy people. They had other things to do. And there they were, taking time with us, giving us the time of day and making us feel special about who we were.
Right on.
I'm sure Parrish did that too with the Eagle Scout thing. I know Parrish and his brother James were Eagle Scouts. They came in the fold in the scenario. It's like, it's the same thing, man. You have these scenarios. And then you have the other sides to them too, like when we would have street things going on in between us being these guys too. I want to show all of that. I want to give people the view of how it went down, how we got where we were, and how it disbanded, and how we still move as a unit, even though we're not together. We still have the same abilities that we had together. Because you got to remember, when Parrish did the Hit Squad and Eric the Death Squad, the teams had to recess their abilities now because me and Redman weren't able to be together, and me and Redman and the Hit Squad were always together.
Right.
And then when it disbanded, we had to figure out, oh shit, now I got to find out what their strengths and weaknesses before we go out. So that is going to be displayed in the movie also. And then, it's history. Yeah,
man, it's definitely history. Anybody who loves the golden age of hip hop, or kids that need to learn about, I don't think enough kids are learning about when we come up. We, knowing about the history of hip hop, where it came from, knowing about the Cool Hercs and going way back was like, you almost had to know it. Now it seems kids aren't the same way about the history, man.
Yeah, I call them the millennials. They're different.
Yeah,
definitely different. They come from a different skill set than us.
Yeah.
But it's like, still, like I said, you still got to know your history to know where you're going. You got to know things that we're all going to be a part of. We're all here to celebrate it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my new stuff's coming out on Road Warrior slash road warrior waste management.
Right
And
on.
yo, man, things happen and we just keeping it moving, man. The kids are coming out, the next generation's coming out.
True.
Redman producing, you know, DJ Scratch producing, you know, we're still locked in with Reggie and DJ Scratch. Shout out to Benny Sinatra. We're coming, man.
Yeah, man.
Full circle.
And you talk about the mentors and stuff like that. People like, you know, and without these mentors, whether you're boxing coaches or scout masters or your uncles or whoever these positive role models are. And I see that reflected in you because I watch you like through the years, you come up, you said like how you took Redman under your wing, how you took Keith Murray under your wing. You kind of taught these guys the fundamentals, you even taught Redman how to fight a little bit. Right. And now, even now, here you are, you got your record label and I would assume that you're doing the same thing for them. You're mentoring them, molding them, showing them how to, because you've been there,
like,
man.
Kids are like your best friends. Like my son's like my best friend. We wake up, you know, and it's the same scenario, man. You got to throw the ball and he got to throw it back.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and they don't know it all. They pretend they do, but they don't know it all.
Right.
They're learning as they go. Just like us, we just had better teachers.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
And that's the thing, man. And knowing that, you know, I think that makes you a better teacher. It makes you say, I'm gonna pass it forward. You know, for all the people that were there for me, I'm gonna pass it forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like I always tell Paris, me and Paris on the same team is overkill anyway, because we're very groomed, and it's like we could spread this out. There could be a hit squad, there could be a death squad, there could be a sharpshooters, there could be a killer house. We can all still operate from our standpoint. We're the first crew that can disband, make their music, and still put those chains out and connect.
Right on, man. And this hit squad movie idea, man, I'm loving that. I think there's so many angles to take on it. First of all, how you all met, how you built guys built this empire. And then the breakup when, you know, EP broke up, and then, like you said, split into the hit squad, death squad. And then now, where does it stand now? It seems from my point of view that everybody's kind of cool and back, or.
Yeah, well, you got to remember too, when Eric and Paris got to figure their scenario out, they're a little more different than us. Me and Redman are like connected like brothers for real. I don't have to say anything to him. He doesn't have to say nothing to me. It's just an automatic with me and him.
Right.
But Eric and Paris are back together, figuring the thing out, getting it together. I heard they dropped a new a CD that's on the website. No, it's on the YouTube, and it sounds good. It's not an actual album, though. Their actual album, just they do something out to keep us all still applauding them.
Right.
We did that, and you know what I'm saying. And they're doing a duo album that's coming out. The duo album's coming out. They went out to the West Coast to get Dr. Dre to mix it. I'm gonna see how that works.
Nice.
Other thing I say with Eric and Paris is like, I don't think they understood that I was way ahead on certain things. Like, you know how people don't understand your skill set? They don't know because they're on top of you.
Right.
So I'm more of the forerunner now. I'm the one controlling the movie. I'm the one controlling most of what's coming out now out of our scenario, unless Reggie and Meth are doing their thing, because they do it real fast too. And I'm also working on Marley G's album from Illegal.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah,
he's out here with me. I took him. He can rhyme really good, and just needs some direction. That's it.
Yeah, there you go, man.
Shout out to Diamond D. Diamond D's on that project. But like I said, listen, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it matters that you stay flying and doing what you do. If you're a recording artist, stay recording. Right. I don't have to hold your hand, and you don't have to hold my hand to record and keep doing you. If you are this, like we are who we are going to still be what we are. It doesn't matter if you're in the room or not. We're still going to be accountable for what we are. I'm K Solo, and I'm going to do K Solo. Redman's Redman. He's going to do Redman. EPMD's EPMD. They're going to do EPMD. Same with Dosvet. Everybody's going to do what they got to do. It doesn't matter. Long as they do what they got to do, then we can create a chain. It's fine. If we don't, that's fine too. It's fine.
Right.
It's just, we did something in history that was great. Everybody appreciated it. And we're going to do a movie so everybody can appreciate that too. Keep the brand alive and keep the line open. That's it.
Yeah.
Nobody's here. This is not a mudslinging contest. This is not a I'm greater than you contest. This is just, we're going to work. This is what we do. We get up, we work, and we put music out and we put projects out.
Right on, man. And does everybody know that you're working on this and what's their
Oh yeah,
feedback?
they know because they've been hearing it through the grapevine because the kickback from what people are saying when I put it up, the comeback has been like yours was. Everybody's very interested in seeing it and coming to fruition. So yeah. And I have great writers because, like I said, I came to Full Sail with Travis Dempsey. Got the writers from there, the movie guys like Paul Emile, Jeffrey, guys that really know how to do this movie stuff. I can write the story and turn it over, and that's what I do. I write the story out, and then because I'm a great writer, and I give them the story, and then they make it what it is, and then we take it from there and make it. But we got to get somebody to play Eric. It's not going to be easy finding a heavy-set kid with green eyes with the lifts, but we're going to find him, and we're going to find and it's going to be a great, great tribute to the Hit Squad and the Def Squad and K Solo and Redman and DOS Effects. It's going to be great.
I could play Tom J if you want. If you.
Oh yeah, Tom J and the Knuckleheads too. No, it's funny you say that. Tom J's brother Donnie was on my boxing team. He's my god brother.
Oh
so
yeah,
Donnie
man.
was the 132 pounder. I was the 147 pounder. So when we would fight competition, Tom J's older brother was on my boxing team along with Tony Fortunato, my godfather. So I knew him anyway. I knew that family anyway through boxing.
Right, yeah.
So
yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I know those dudes, and I was hoping they were gonna blow up, man. But they had some good stuff, man, back in the day.
No strings attached, we make a perfect match. Me and you taking turns on our backs. Give me your last name, phony phone number. Wouldn't bother me much, just another summer.
Yeah, it's just what happens. You're young, You got one guy calling the shots, and that's why I always say Parrish has to take responsibility because you were the leader. Every leader has to take responsibility at the end. And I get this from my elders and my uncles. They said, well, the leader always has to be some responsibility, no matter how great it was, how bad it went, your leader, because you're the one calling the plays.
Right.
So that's the only bad side of it is that he has to, they have to look at him at the end and go, well, you were leading, you were the leading man.
Right.
Like Eric would always say, but the president runs the ship. And if the ship goes down, we have to look at the president and go, why did the ship run down?
Right.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it's not easy being that guy, because
no, it's not easy being that guy, but I want to salute him. He did a good job.
Yeah.
And for as young as he was, kid was young, coming behind Run DMC and all that. It's just like I just feel like when I just wish I had more power then to because I'm very, very thinky. I'm real thinky. I'm the chess player.
Right.
I'm always chess playing. I'm a chess player. And they're not chess players, they're checker players. I'm more of a chess player.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why at the end of it, it's going to be, you know how they always say how God says, they said, who's the strongest? They said the least. I did the least. I only had 2 albums.
Right.
But I'm the most. I got the vision that a lot of people lack.
Right.
I have more of a vision of and that's why I can do the movie.
Dude.
And then create the dolls and all that stuff. I can do that. They don't. I'm in touch with the guy at Hasbro who's like, can we get a deal with the dolls? And I'm like, okay, hold up. They're not, I'm a visionary. And I'm the one that the people will go, he's a little, but I'm the genius. Geniuses are half crazy.
Yeah, I think so. I think if you look at history, every genius is a little bit.
Yeah, a little off. But I'm on point. Like I knew what happened with Suge, right? Let me give you an example. So when I was with Dr. Dre and Sam Snead in LA, and it was 93 when I signed to Death Row before Snoop had came out. I knew Snoop was going to be one of the biggest artists we saw in the 20th century. I knew it. And I would tell Redman and EPM, nobody would believe me. And look, that's what I mean. It's like I'm way ahead. Like me telling Redman about Snoop back and then, and he's like, get the fuck out. Nobody believed me. But now look at him. Now they all look at Snoop and they're all in the picture now. And I'm like, but I'm the one that told them about Snoop before they knew who Snoop was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the one that was with Dr. Dre and we was putting Snoop stuff together and I'm listening to Dr. Dre and then Eric shows up 30 years later to work with Dr. Dre. I was bending that.
Yeah.
I'm way ahead. And then they'll say that because I live in their town. So they're going to quick to overlook me because I'm from where you're from. But if I wasn't from where you were from, you would get me. Sometimes I go over people's heads.
Yeah, and sometimes too, there's something to that. Like if in the family, if your little brother tells you something or whatever, or you don't want to hear him, And then you got to hear
Right.
from the neighbor says it, and then you're like, oh, then it must be true because this guy.
Right.
But like, I've been telling you this forever, you know.
Yeah, they don't understand. And that's cool. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why I say I moved to Florida. I'm not in that space. I'm not in Long Island. I moved to Florida where I'm the king out here. I do what I got to do. Me, Flo Rida, LB, my guys, we move. We want to do something. We're there. We do it. It's not a big, I don't have to sit here and roll the dice to do it. You know, I just do what I want to do and I get it done. And I say, hey, let's do this. And everybody comes behind me and they do it and it gets done. So it's all cool. It's all worked out.
Yeah, man.
Because if I had this in my head and I wasn't able to execute it, I'll probably go crazy.
Now, when you're writing this script, are you writing it like from your point of view? Is this like, are you gonna be like, is K Solo gonna be the protagonist of this whole movie, or how?
Yeah, because K Solo was the first artist that got signed. So I remember I had a conversation with somebody on the internet was like, "Oh, you should talk about EPMD," but EPMD didn't break up in EPMD. EPMD broke up when the Hit Squad was active.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not about EPMD. It's about the Hit Squad. The EPMD is part of the Hit Squad.
Right on.
I'm not talking about EPMD situation. I'm talking about the Hit Squad situation. I'm talking about, I don't know if this was supposed to happen. I don't know if Paris was supposed to sign K Solo and then DOS Effects to him, where Eric had some of DOS Effects, because it evens out. I'll tell you how. Paris signed K Solo solely. Eric signed Redman solely. They both had DOS Effects, but the splits weren't 50-50. I believe Paris was getting 60. Eric was getting 40 because Paris was claiming he does the work.
Right.
Then to make it even, I gave Eric Keith Murray. So Eric had more, but Eric's not more focused with business like Paris is. So when Eric says, well, it looked like something was wrong. It wasn't nothing wrong. It was just that you weren't disciplined with your money like Paris was.
Right.
So that was the offset of the team. One looked like they had more than the other.
Right, yeah.
You understand? Paris was more on his money than Eric. Paris never jerked Eric. I'm gonna be clear. Because that goes around to, oh, Paris jerked every. No. Now me and DOS Effects might have got played later on with Paris' situation because of the higher ups. We don't know.
Right.
That's yet to be seen. That's yet to be seen. We don't know. But however, we talking about Eric and Paris situation wasn't that. But we could, everywhere we was with the Hit Squad, it wasn't coming down the pipe like it was supposed to, so I had to do other things. I went to Dr. Dre's. I got signed. I couldn't sit around there because if you're not gonna use me, I don't want to be here. What am I gonna do here? So I raised Redman quietly. I told Redman, little things that got Redman on point. As you see, Redman now is the Redman I wanted Redman to be.
Right. Yeah,
the guy with the glasses, the guy that's approachable, that does business. He still does his little stuff, but it's all about business. He's on time for everything. He's about his career. That's the Redman I was fighting for Redman to be. Not the Redman that you knew when we were kids, a tissue in the nose, hat on like this, waking up, he come in the house, the food's all gone. No, that's not that Redman. This is a different Redman.
Right, yeah.
So he was always like my brother to me. I didn't know, even though we weren't really related, to me, he was, because we always shared a birthday. And I did him like he was my brother. And Paris and Eric didn't have that synergy where they were like brothers. Paris would be, after he got the money, then he has his company, Eric has his company. They didn't share the same circles. So you had a little wedge between them. But most importantly, I want people to understand that Black culture doesn't govern itself. It has a side of it where it'll turn on itself all the time. I don't know where it comes from, but it happens. So I just made it happen because I wanted to learn what the West Coast was about. I wanted to spread my wings. And I wanted Sam Snead, who was a producer under me, to get a shot. He did. He came off when he went out there. He landed, he did Natural Born Killers with Dr. Dre. He did Keep Your Heads Ringing. I mean, he was on a roll. He did great, and they used him correctly. And that's what I want to say now. In EPMD's case, they didn't use Sam Snead. It wasn't like Sam Snead could, even though he did K-Soul's album, and then there was Paris production was getting so bad at the time where I was like, Eric was laughing at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would hear B Paris do, he was laughing. And I was like, oh, I got to do something. So I did. I did something that was for me. Like, his music wasn't there was some great stuff. The first album he did, he landed. Second album, he was, he worked for EPMD, did some beats. He couldn't really produce for me, and I had to bring Sam Snead in, because my career was suffering at that time, especially on my second album. I Can't Hold It Back. I did, Sneak Tip. I did all of these songs. And I had to do it quick too, because me and him didn't have a system on the second album like he had on the first album.
Right, yeah.
So he take care of his EPMD stuff. And another thing too, they would take care of EPMD stuff and they wouldn't really leave nothing for K Solo. It was like, I remember I had the first Manslaughter beat was my beat for See I Rockin' From Hometown. It was perfect. They jacked that, put it on their album. So I was like, okay, cool. I get it. But I can't, in my business, I can't be second. I have to go for the first.
Yeah.
That's tough. Go from creme to creme. It is, but I made the decision. I came to the decision to leave and go with Death Row. And I was right. Dre was the best producer. It took Eric 30 years to go over there. That told I knew what I was doing 30 years ago. I went to Dr. Dre. I mean, why would you show up at Dr. Dre's house if you're having issues? What issues are you having now?
Yeah, right. Now,
but
when
you went to only goal. Yeah,
I was gonna say you went to Death Row back in the beginning with Suge and all that. Was there any crazy
when it
stuff?
wasn't good to go? When it wasn't good to go, but I didn't care. I wanted to still. See, one thing I want to say, with EPMD, I didn't learn the music industry through EPMD. I learned it through Dr. Dre.
Right, yeah.
EPMD, I didn't get a chance to see. It was a lot of smoke and mirrors. I didn't get a chance to see how it worked. And then when I went to Full Sail and figured out the splits, EPMD was getting 25% writer share because they had to split 50%. There was a whole 50% they were losing because they sampled. So when I understood that, then I was like, okay, these guys, they couldn't have been making that much money. They were getting some points. If it went gold, they were eating, but 25, me and Redman, we do an album, we get 50-50 unless we're with them, and they're taking 25 for us to give them 50 out of our writers. So when I figured out what was going on, which I had no idea in the beginning, I didn't understand that in the beginning. I didn't understand the music industry. I had to go to school at Full Sail and learn. And when Travis showed me, him and Nicki showed me exactly what the splits were, then I was like, oh, then I understood what was going on. And I said, well, they were getting 20, they were taking 25 off of your writers.
Wow, damn.
So now I'm like, oh, no, I get it. Because
remember, it's business,
sampling music. Yeah, if you're sampling music, you're gonna lose 50% of that composition.
Right.
So where are you gonna get the money from? The other artist is writing.
Right, yeah.
They're coming into your writer's share. So that's why I looked at Redman and I said, so do we need that? Because we're writers, like we can write to anything.
Right.
Do we need that? Solid Scheme, for instance. Okay, so let's say this. Paris didn't produce Solid Scheme musically. Solid Scheme produced them. DOS Effects came with a unit. They didn't really need him. The album would have sounded the same without him.
Right.
So you understand he got paid for putting them in a situation, but when they go platinum, how are they in one house?
Right, yeah.
That's $14 million somebody made.
Damn.
So when you understand that, when you understand the music, the formats of that, then you look at them like they don't really know. They couldn't really know. Just because they're saying the word business every 5 minutes don't mean they really know.
Right, yeah. No, I mean...
Because if they knew, they would know what I'm saying. They would be like, they don't know. They got lawyers telling them what it is. Do you remember when Eric did an interview one time, there was a kid telling him about his streaming site. He didn't know how many records you spend to get the money.
Right.
Josh Ninja stood up and had to speak on it because he didn't know. So that's what I'm saying. When you got these artists, they're rappers, they're great talented, they're great music men. They're not businessmen. They don't really understand business. I'm around people like Scotty Esdale who manage me who are about business. They create a TV show. It turns into a Tyler Perry situation. They own the whole studio. They own the whole lots. They pay the people. We're around people that could make music from the ground up, like Dr. Dre. Like I learned when Dr. Dre created, I named Aftermath.
Oh, no way.
I named Aftermath because when we was at Death Row and Dre heard Wolf Tickets, he said Aftermath. And I was like, that sounds like the next situation. And I was supposed to write, I was writing for Dr. Dre, the Voices record, the Conscience record. And Eminem was coming in. I left because, I couldn't do nothing. When you got Tupac running around and poking his chest out, and I said, this is not hip. This is not music. This is stupid ass street shit. And I just packed my bags and left and went back home, and Paris picked me up from the airport. And
because in those days, Death Row, that whole scene was crazy. And
but it wasn't Dre's fault. Dre tried to do his thing, but here's the thing too. When you even Suge, right? I feel sorry for Mr. Knight. They give you all of this money for the first time in your life. You never had no kind of money. You didn't know how to act. Look.
Right. Yeah.
It's too much.
It's true, man. You get too much of a good thing sometimes, and you're a young
It
guy.
ain't his fault neither. It was the circumstances.
Yeah.
So I felt bad for him too. Because there's some great things he did. Let's be real. Suge Knight did some great things.
He built
He
that
wasn't
whole
all
thing.
bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, he wasn't all bad.
Yeah.
There's some great things he did.
How friendly were you with him? Did you guys like
Listen, I would go to Dr. Dre. Well, I lived in Dre house. I would get up with Dre before I got my own apartment in Woodland Hills. They just did business different than the East Coast. They were more of a, Dre, you be at Dre house. Dre, after Dre finished DJing, let me tell you something about Dr. Dre. This is another thing too, and I don't think EPMD understood this neither. From Dr. Dre getting up in the morning, we get up in the morning, we go to the studio at Can-Am Studio from 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock to 5 on the dot. And we get everything in as an artist, as the artist do, and we make the music from 9 o'clock to 5, and then Dre go home to his house where he's cooking some wings, and everybody would come to Dr. Dre's house, eat, pray, and then go home to sleep for the next day tomorrow. That's how it went at Dr. Dre's operation. Friday and Saturday, he didn't work. EPMD didn't work like that. They worked excluding hours that were, in their house. They would go in their house and do it. It was a different formula. But Dr. Dre's formula worked though for him. Not saying EPMD's didn't work for theirs, it did. It just got messed up when EPMD started putting too many people on, and then they couldn't actually monitor all of those success. Like I said, DONversation went platinum. How were they in the house? And I was like, I don't know. Even if you had a couple of cars, it wasn't weighing out.
Yeah, because they had that house in Ronkonkoma, right? Didn't they have a house?
Yeah, but they only have one house. How you go platinum and somebody made $14 million.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, dude. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, Don? Like somebody made $14 million on that album, and how are they only getting this? The numbers didn't make sense. So we're gonna go down that rabbit hole too. But like I said, they're young. I'm not here to throw dirt or mud. I'm older than them. I do it in a different way. I'm very highly intelligent. I'm not gonna do that ever. I appreciate the opportunity they gave me.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm not gonna be lying to people when they ask me how it went down. I'm not gonna lie to people, neither give people false hope, and then they look at me and say, "Well, man, we asked you."
Right.
I'm gonna be real.
I think this movie, the script that you're writing, coming from you, is gonna be pretty epic, and we'll answer a lot of questions to a lot of people that always ask what happened to the Hit Squad, because the hit Squad was, like you said, on top of the game back in the day, man. You guys were the guys, man. And everybody,
and they made people feel happy when you came. You were easy to approach them, but you got to remember when Jay-Z got next to Russell and Puffy got next to Russell, whole different game.
Yep.
And that's where EPMD's power came from, that Def Jam situation. That's where all them. So when you got Jay-Z on this side, Puffy on this side,
yep.
That's why I went to the West Coast.
Yeah,
see,
man.
That's what I'm saying. I foresee things that people don't give me credit for. They be like, "Oh, you just from CI." Okay. But I knew.
Like you said, you're playing chess, man. You're thinking a few moves ahead.
I'm a chess player.
Yeah,
I'm a chess player. Yeah. I'm not a checker player. I play chess. And don't get me wrong, man. Listen, I learned from their mistakes too, man. They made a lot of mistakes, but I learned from them. You know what it is too? You can't Black America in the 60s ain't the same thing as the 90s. The advice you were getting from your dad was good, but it wasn't the same scenario when you say, I remember back in the days, if father would tell him the cheese stands alone, and they would sing that song, the cheese stands alone. But the cheese can't stand alone, because if you need Eric's production, it can't stand alone.
Right, yeah.
So that's what I mean. The same thing that's going on in the 60s don't mean for the 90s. You have to look at the 90s fighter and they executed him correctly, because he's not doing the same thing as the 60s fighter. It's a different time. And today's price, Fat Joe says it's great today. Today's price ain't yesterday's price.
Truth. Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? You got this guy producing, this guy's production. Let me tell you something about this guy's production. His production was so good that I counted with I think it was Chocolate. I said, how much do you think he should sell? Chocolate said like 5 million every time. I was like, okay, that makes about sense. So if you're not making 5 million on your production, your business is lacking.
Right.
Right? So, and this is what I mean about you have these camps that are coming in the game, but this is what I mean about black culture. Instead of them working together as a team and a robot, one wants to be this, the other one wants to be that. So now this one makes the hit squad. This is the first group that ever did this too. In the Juice Crew, they didn't say, well, Bismarck, what's your crew code? Me and Kane gonna do this crew. They was the Juice Crew.
Right, yeah.
They kept the ranks tight. So this is the first time in history of music, somebody's gonna make a group inside a group, another group. And I'm gonna claim it. In other words, this is my group. No, I thought the hit squad was all of y'all. No, the hit squad's me. Now he gotta jump out there and go, okay, and I'm gonna be the Def Squad. And then Das EFX never worked with Redman. What do we have here? We have mutiny in our house. So any house divided amongst itself can't rise. So this is what happened. This is what happened. I don't care who was in charge or who wasn't in charge. You got to be honest on what happened. That's like them getting in a boat from Long Island Shore and Fire Island, and Paris gonna cut half of the boat. He's gonna sink in the water, and so is he. That's what happened.
Yeah, man.
So even though they don't want to admit it, people want to shelter it and all that, because people love the group so much. If you love the group, tell the truth of what happened so we can move forward and maybe fix the things. That's what happened. You got this guy saying, well, I'm going to do this because now you can get the money come directly to you. Now he's got to do the same thing with his money to get it come to you. See, and this is what happens. You can't operate like that. You can't split a house open when EPMD should have been doing everything together.
Right. You
would have had a better impact if you would have did it that way.
You think it's because the two, like you said, and it comes across through the years, even from me, just a spectator or whatever, a fan, that Eric and Parrish don't really have that, like you said, that brotherhood like you and Red have, or you think that has a lot to do with why things fall apart?
I think they do. I just think they had people in their ears saying the wrong stuff, thinking about what their bottom line was going to be if they separated the taco.
Yeah.
I think they were really close because Parrish is a real good people person, and so is Eric. So there's no reason why. Like the first two albums, it was no issue. It's when K Solo got in the game and then Redman got in the game, they started, okay, let's do it separately. That's where they messed up, because had Eric would have produced an album and said, okay, give all the tracks to Eric, let Eric, and then they do it together and split everything down the middle 50-50, they would have been in a better situation.
So you think the Hit Squad was the best and the worst thing that happened to them?
Yeah. That's why I did the movie, because like I said, they don't understand. Like you gotta, like when Dr. Dre never cared about Snoop outselling him. Parrish didn't really want everybody to outsell him. You could tell he was like a little more conscious of when Das EFX did it, then it went away. Das EFX went platinum, then they went gold, and it went away. Not saying that's his fault. Not saying it's his fault. It's what happened.
The competitive juices.
Very rarely do you see somebody go platinum and then it goes lower and lower, lower.
Right. And that's where, like, as a producer or the leader of the group, he should have been wanting everyone to exceed him, and then keep you guys on top. Everybody could have been on top.
Well, I don't think he thought hip hop was. I don't think he thought there was a Wu-Tang coming behind him to steal the thunder. I don't think he thought that.
Right, yeah.
When you look at Wu-Tang, how they are all together, and like then we had the situation with X. Don't get me wrong, I love DMX. We had an issue. DMX didn't write no Spellbound, even though he's claiming he wrote it. DMX is using that to glorify his takeover of Def Jam and his story, which you're supposed to glorify it, no problem.
He's going to be in the movie? I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course he's going to be in the movie.
That's a pivotal.
I love X, man. X, my man, listen, like I said, when X looked at me and one day we was at the club and he said, yeah, you see, I took, we was at Club Live, and he was on stage with my man, what was his name? Bugatti? Not Bugatti. What was my man's name? Lambo. And Lambo tried to give him a champagne bottle. And he said, nah, man, I only drink hard. And I looked at him that night, I could have approached him, but I left it alone because I looked and I said to myself, here he is 5 years after EPMD disbands. He takes Def Jam over and outsells everybody.
Right.
But you got to look at this. This is a person that was smoking B-Rock. crackhead.
Right. Yeah, man.
But his father was an artist too. Don't take nothing from his artistic expression because he was smoking crack. Here's the thing though. He outsold EPMD, Redman, Method Man, all of them.
Right.
So
yeah.
not because he was better than them, he knew how to put pieces together. DMX knew how to get on stage with 50,000 people and cry in front of them. People felt sorry for him.
Right, yeah.
They're to the point where I couldn't even defend my truth. People looked at me and said, just leave it alone. Because he got them into what he is and he sold himself to them. And when you can get on stage and cry with 50,000 people.
And you win them over like that? Yeah,
There's nothing you can do. Jay-Z couldn't even get on the stage after that.
Yeah, man. That's powerful stuff. That kind of empathy and that need to forgive this guy or want to see him. And if you
came and attacked him, you would have lost anyway because people felt sorry for him. There was a time when the winners, I was a winner.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
When I would win by force or victory, then there was a time when life came when the losers were winners.
Yep.
That was his time.
Yep.
When the losers won. So we got to be educated. We got to be sensitive in the fact I still love him. He was a great artist. He was a great comrade in battle. You love your enemies, right?
Yeah, man.
And you acknowledge what he was and you keep it moving and you keep pressing and your life, I'm still here. I can still make a difference.
Right on.
You know, I'm just saying with EPMD, they got to look at the reality of what you're dealing with within your camp. And you got to admit to yourself, there's things about you two you don't like. And if you do that, you can move on. Other than that, if you bullshit each other, everybody's going to keep moving around you. Till y'all fix each other, so it is what it is.
I'm loving this whole Hit Squad movie. Have you figured out how it ends yet? Like where are you going to end it off? Is it going to end off in after the breakup, or is it going to end off modern, like nowadays, or or the comeback when you guys all kind of did at the Redman versus Meth thing? Or
it's going to end with the new kids of the generation picking up where we left off and what they're going to do.
Nice.
Because it's the new generation. It's the Vaughn Wolves. It's the new ones. It's the Chris LaShawns. It's these new guys that were from that bloodline that are gonna come, and then pick up where it left off. Because if you see Scratch, he's working with RZA now. Redman is tied in with Method. Redman is not even considered a Def Squad member anymore. He's considered a Wu-Tang member.
Yeah.
So all this time has ticked, and it goes to show they don't really know how to steer it.
Yeah,
Bernard Alexander did a great job, but as far as steering, not so good. They don't know where the terrains lie. So me, Scotty Esdale, people that are behind the scenes on this movie, Quayshawn Carter, real solid writers like Jeffrey and Paul Emile and Rick Watson and Manny Haley, all putting in input to this to make this what it is and because it's epic. We know how epic it is,
Now, when you look back at the Hit Squad now, especially when you're writing this script, you must be bringing back a lot of memories of those times. There's got to be a part of you that's like, man, why didn't we do this right, man? We had it all, I
think what my culture is not like that. They're more or less like saying, you got people saying through the grapevine, like, well, he hasn't delivered an album. How can he deliver a movie? That's cool. I heard it all. But my thing is this. I only deliver an album when I have something to say. And I deliver an album when I feel that I need to deliver an album. Right now, my songs, like me and Scratch talked about, as long as I come back with a Mom's in My Business, then it's all good. I just don't want to mess my legacy up with stupid rhetoric. I never was the rapper that got on stage and said nothing crazy that my mother couldn't hear or my grandmother couldn't dance to. I never was that artist.
Right.
The hardest thing I did was Fugitive in that aspect because I did experience that.
Dude,
but Mom's in My Business, I just did music that people could relate to in life.
Dude, man, to this day, man, I'm like, to the cops of Suffolk County, I'm known as a fugitive. Yeah, I'm still, man. Great track, dude. Obviously, Spellbound. That whole Tell the World My Name album is just classic. If people watching this have never listened to that whole album, you got to check it out. It's got all the classics on there, man. K Solo is the real deal, you know, and mom's in my business. Yeah, your mom's in my business. She's in my business. Yeah,
true
man.
stories that we went through, man. Shout out to Renee McClaw. But my whole thing, all I'm saying with E and them, once they figure out as men what's the situation, if they want to move forward, they can. If they don't, that's fine. But like I said, we're still moving. We're still pressing forward. We're still going to cover these bases in history. We're going to leave these milestones in our pocket, and we're not going to leave no money on the table. NFTs are coming soon. Road Warrior Records, Docs Diggler, Vaughn Wolf, Wolfgang, K Solo. We coming with the NFTs. We coming with it, man. Because the technology is here, bro.
Dude, and like you said, you're always steps ahead. So you're already doing the NFTs. You're on it, bro. Yeah, this is freaking awesome, man. And yeah, dude, I guess I appreciate you doing this. I feel like there was one more thing I wanted to ask you about, but I think you got it all. I saw on your Facebook you got something cooking with Maya.
She's in the studio right now on my god brother Rome. I'm hearing some songs. Hopefully me and her get to do something on this album. But she's just having fun in the studio. Father's a good friend of the family, and it sounds dope. I just wanted the people to get a sneak peek that Maya was in the studio.
Awesome, man. Well, the Hit Squad script, you're working on it, man. I can't wait to see this thing develop and come out. And if you need a white dude with like a gray beard,
so Tom J, we need a Tom J.
Yeah, I can be Tom J. There you go.
You might get it, Don.
Yo, you're awesome, brother. I appreciate you taking the time, man. Thanks again.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
check us out at www.roadwarriorrecords.net. Check us out. We coming.
Yes.
Peace.
Yes, man. Peace. Thanks, bro.
Thanks, Don.